Hello and welcome to this research tutorial for English 102 from the Rockland Community College Library. We'll be covering how to find literary criticism for your English 102 assignment, and we'll look at databases made especially for finding lit crit, as well as humanities databases, and general databases that search many databases at once. Please note that this video is timestamped on RCC's YouTube channel. While we'll be going over a lot, you'll be able to skip around or watch in sections. Before we begin, I'll quickly show you how to find the library homepage, which is most easily found on My RCC by clicking on the books icon that says Library under My Apps. From the homepage, you can find the Ask Us button here on the right to instant message us. This chat feature also has screen sharing capabilities through Zoom, so a librarian can share their screen with you, or you can share your screen with a librarian. We also have an email you can use here at any time of day, and on the bottom left, under Research Help and the link Ask Us, is a page with the email and numbers to call and text. This video is being recorded in 2021, so reference librarians are mostly virtual. So chatting, emailing, and texting are the best ways to find us. When campus is fully open, librarians are there in person as well as on the reference phone to help you with your questions. Now we'll go back to the homepage. The easiest way to find literary criticism are the databases that are made just for that. To get to those, we'll go to the bottom left of the library homepage and click on Databases by Subject. From here, we can either scroll down this list or this drop-down. They're exactly the same. We'll go to Literature and Literary Criticism. Some databases, such as Bloom's Literature, or things like Gale Literary Sources, are designed to find literary criticism. And we'll start with Gale. I'm going to click on Gale Literary Sources. And I'm going to sign in because these are subscription databases the library pays for, and those companies don't want people cracking in for free. This database makes life very easy if the work you're studying, whether it be a short story, novel, play, or poem, is very well studied in the field. The default search options provide for name of work or person by or about. For example, if I type in name of work, where are you going? Where have you been? And I'm going to select the short story, so I'm just getting the story. And I hit search. It will give me results that include everything in this database indexed as being about or mentioning this specific story. I have 19 results for lit crit here, as well as other results for bios, overviews, reviews, etc. So I'm going to check out one of these results. I'm going to click on this one, Existential Allegory, Joyce Carol Oates, and Where Are You Going, Where Have You Been? From here, I can save the article to my Google Drive if I'm logged in. I can email it to myself. I can download it onto my device. I can also use a screen reader here, which is helpful. And here on the bottom, I can grab the MLA citation. To do more narrow searching, I can grab some keywords from this article. So this article talks about religious allegory in the story and compares the character of Arnold Friend to the devil. And I can see that keyword written right here. Let's say I want to explore this further in my paper. I'm going to steal that word and add it to my search. So I'm going to go back twice to the search page. I'm going to plug my story back in. And under this that just says basic search, I'm going to type in devil as my keyword. I'm going to hit search again. Part of the key to keyword searching, whether in a library database or in Google, is guessing the language other people have used. Now I know someone has used this word to talk about this story. I've only lost a few results and my attention is drawn to certain articles. I'm going to try this third one, The Shadow of the Satyr in Oates' Where Are You Going? Where Have You Been? This article comes in PDF form instead of just being straight in the browser. It's just a different format. But I can still send, save, cite, download this article, and I have the options to do that up here with the icons on the top. And now I can see that they've highlighted my keyword, scrolling through. In this article, this author challenges the image of Arnold's friend as the devil and instead compares him to a satyr from Greek and Roman mythology. So here I'm seeing the conversation about the representation of this character, which might be useful for my paper if I want to go in that direction. I'm going to go back to the Gale Literary Sources search page so we can look at how to search person by or about. So person by or about allows me to search for an author or a critic or both. And if I wanted to look up an author, I would search the author's name backwards. So something like Kincaid, Jamaica. And then I'll hit search. And this search result brings me everything in this database about Jamaica Kincaid as a person, criticism or reviews of her work, or any article or story she may have written that is indexed in this particular database. Since we have some other lit databases, we're going to quickly explore one of those. So I'm going to click off this tab, and we're going to come back to our literature and literary criticism database list. And this time we're going to go to Bloom's Literature. Let's say I want to search for criticism on The Telltale Heart. Similar to Gale, if I start typing in the title, it'll appear in the suggestions. And Bloom's actually defaults on their first search page instead of to criticism to reference. But if I want criticism, I can go to this tab here. And I'll get all the criticism for this story indexed in Bloom's. Also, if I go quickly back to reference, let's say I'm still brainstorming about my essay. Over here on the filters on the side, I can narrow by character or essay topics. Now, if I want to go back to look at the criticism, and same as the other databases, I can click on a title and get the article. And just like Gale, I can download it, I can cite it, I can read it aloud, I can save it to my drive. But if I share it, it will just send me, if I share it by emailing it, it will just send me the link back to this page. So we recommend saving it by downloading it to your device or saving it to your drive so you don't have the added step of logging back into the RCC network in order to access the article. So I'm going to go back to the literature and lit crit list so we can explore other options for finding literary criticism that includes databases that are not meant exclusively for that, but are still good resources for this nonetheless. JSTOR, for example, has a lot of literature and humanities content. It's also a larger database than either Gale Literary Sources or Bloom's. So here, if I return to researching where are you going, where have you been, I'm probably going to get a different set of results than I did in Gale Literary Sources. And I'm going to put this title in quotes, since all of these words are commonly used in other contexts that don't have to do with this story, and putting it in quotes, whether in a database or in Google, will give me all of those words in that order as a single entity. I can also put the author's last name next to it if I want to make sure I'm only getting things about that story. So here I have 86 results, which was a lot more than the 19 I got for literature criticism in Gale. So I'm going to try this article, Where Are You Going? Where Have You Been? And Cold War Hermeneutics. Here on JSTOR, I can grab the citation by clicking Cite this item, and it'll give me the options of different citation formats to copy. I can save it, but this would require making an account on JSTOR, which is completely free with your RCC login, but again, that's an extra step of having to log back into JSTOR and the RCC network. Sharing it is similar to something like Bloom's. It'll send me a link and it looks for a mail client like Thunderbird or Outlook. So again, I would recommend downloading the PDF and saving it to your device, or if you're on a computer that's not your own, you could always download it and then upload it to your email as an attachment when you log in. It's also a little easier to read things in JSTOR if you download the PDF, because otherwise, I'll go back one tab. If you're looking at it on the browser, you have to click through with the arrows. So in addition to literature databases, we also have large databases that search multiple other databases at once. These are called discovery platforms. We have 2 of these, and we'll start with the most obvious one since it's the big search bar in the middle of the library homepage. And we'll click off of these tabs to go back to the library homepage. And this one is called Primo. For these databases, I'm going to use the example of a work that is not well studied. Having tried before, I know it's hard to find a lot of content on the short story Jill's husband returns in form of parrot in the literature databases. I'm going to search it in Primo in quotes. And I'll hit the search button. The first result at the top here I can see of the articles that are indexed in Primo. I can see that we don't have full text access to this. Our subscription doesn't provide it. But it looks like this is the story itself, as it's from the New Yorker in 1995, where it was first published. And so if I'm doing my paper on it, I've already read it and I actually need criticism, so that's not going to help me anyway. So if I click on another source, say this one, Unnatural Narratives in Sam Shepard's Mad Dog Blues, you can see that it is available online. It'll bring me to the record page for this article in Primo. Since this is a database that searches other databases, I actually have to jump out of this one to go read the article. So under View Online and Full Text Availability, I'm going to click on this link, EBSCO Host Humanities Source. And here I am in the other database. And I can read it either by clicking on HTML full text or scrolling down, or PDF full text, which will give me the story as it appeared in the original journal. But I can also scroll down. HTML full text just means it's in the browser. And here I can read the article. If I want to save this article, I can save it to my drive or email it to myself. When I email it to myself, I can select MLA 8th edition and it'll give me the long citation that goes to the end of my paper in the email. I can also send myself the permalink, or I can have a screen reader read it to me, or I can just grab the citation right from here. Now, in order to find out whether this is truly criticism of the story in question or whether it just happens to mention this story, I'm going to use either Control F or Command F on my keyboard and start typing the name of the story. And I can see it appears once from the highlighting here. And it looks like this just mentions the story. So what I can do is I'm going to click off of EBSCO. I'm going to go back to Primo in this tab, and then I'm going to X out of this record. Since every resource in a library database that happens to be criticism of some kind will actually be indexed as criticism. So I'm going to add the keyword criticism to my search. The subject heading might say history and criticism, or criticism and interpretation, or literary criticism. So I'm going to try this again. So I don't see too many hopefuls here. I have even fewer results. So I'm going to try a different work just to demo this here. Going to look for The House on Mango Street. And I'll keep my word criticism here. This is a pretty well-known book, so I'm going to find more options here. I have 363 results. On the side here, I can filter under resource type. I can look for articles that have literary criticism, or sometimes books or book chapters. Sometimes books will be published as anthologies of criticism, so I might find some things in there. I'm going to click on this first one. High Heels is Disciplinary Practice of Femininity in Sandra Cisneros' The House on Mango Street. So from here I can grab the citation, the permalink, or email it to myself. If I email it to myself, it's just going to bring me the permalink, so I would recommend jumping out to EBSCO, which is the native database where this article resides, and grabbing the full article. And I can see here, while criticism isn't in the subject headings, it is in the description. So that's where it's picked it up. And here's the full article. So I'm going to jump back to the home page and go to our other discovery platform. I'm going to click off all these tabs from Primo and EBSCO. And if I scroll down, we're back to the bottom left of the library homepage again, and I'm going to click under Search Tools on the link EBSCO Discovery Service. So I'm going to try Jealous Husband returns in form of parrot again. I'm going to put it in quotes again. So I have some more results here than I did in Primo. And if EBSCO Discovery Service recognizes your keywords as, a common topic, it'll provide you with a research starter, which is like an encyclopedia type page on your topic. And this happens to be on the author. And the first result under that is from something called Master Plots 2 short story series, which looks like it's going to be an overview of the story. And since this is an EBSCO database, I have a pretty similar layout to the last couple articles we looked at, and I can email this article or save it to my drive. I can also, if I go back, since this is just an overview, go and click on this research starter about the author. If it's such a case where the work you're studying isn't very well studied, if it's okay with your professor, you could possibly use biographical info on the author, such as this article here. I'm just going to jump back one. They're on the other side of the page, but EBSCO has pretty similar filters to Primo here over on the left. I'm just going to jump back to the home page one more time. I'm just going to briefly go back to Databases by Subject right above the link for EBSCO Discovery Service. I'm going to go back to literature and literary criticism. The databases we demoed here today aren't the only ones you could use. There are other ones on this list, such as down here, Project Muse, or up here, EBSCO ebook collection. We have some ebooks that are anthologies of literary criticism and essays. These are indexed in Primo and EBSCO Discovery Service, but are more easily found in their own database. And I lied, we're going back to the homepage one more time. Under Research Help, at the very bottom, I'm going to click on the link Research Guides. And under Select Subject, I'm going to select Literature. Click Go. And then click on the guide for literature and literary criticism. This page lists the literature databases we explored earlier, as well as general tips and tricks on how to find physical books in the library and to help with MLA citations and styles. So this concludes our tutorial on how to find literary criticism for English 102, but please don't hesitate to contact a librarian if you need help on this assignment or with any of your other research needs here at RCC.